Hey everybody, how's it going? It is Joe. Welcome back to another episode of the Inside Our Phillies podcast. It is Friday, February 20th, and spring training games have started across baseball. The Phillies having their first game tomorrow. Been a little quiet, but still plenty to discuss. And here to talk about it all, we have Jeremy, SJ Phillies fan. How are you doing today, man?
Just one day left. This is the last day before we get games, action, and no one really plays the first couple games, so it's not going to be that exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually am curious about this first off, because I think everybody has their own way of watching spring training. And I don't think I really know how you watch your spring training, Jeremy. So what do you do every spring? Do you watch these games religiously? Do you at first? Like, what do
Nah,
you do?
nah, nah. Okay, so first of all, it's always fun, like seeing when game day happens. Like, is this one going to be tracked or not? Because if it's tracked, I'm more likely to follow it. So I don't
Sure.
really care to like because I'll get if I'm watching it during the day in the background or whatever. But like it's on game day, I could check it. But like I'm sure you're familiar with it. If they're not being tracked, it's 3 pitches for a strikeout, 1 pitch for it in play, 4 pitches for a walk. Is that so? When it's just like that, I just wait till the end of the game.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm
Uh,
pretty sure I did hear that like every single MLB stadium has like the tracking now. Every single minor league stadium, because they're all minor league stadiums that minor league teams use
yeah.
during the season. But all these spring training stadiums now do have tracking available. So
Then I'm probably gonna pay it a lot more. But yeah, I mean, if it's like Painter going to be starting, I will like watch the game for the 3 innings, or if like someone's like a big time guy, I'll watch their at bat. But rarely do I watch an entire spring training game.
yeah, no, I think that's a great point. I usually watch the first couple of games and I'm like, whoa, baseball's back. NBC Sports Philadelphia, sign me up. And then I realized like how boring spring training really is because let's be honest with ourselves, it is pretty boring.
Oh yeah,
And I go watch a ton of college basketball and stuff until baseball really comes.
yeah. No, it's a bit basically, uh, yeah. If there's not like a hot shot prospect or anything, I'd rarely pay attention because spring training results rarely actually correlate to performance. Like I mentioned this a couple episodes ago, Ibanez famously '09 spring training hit 0 home runs. I was in high school complaining to my dad all the time, and he said, "Relax, it's just spring training." And then, of course, he had a big opening. So you don't know. Doesn't translate to shit, honestly.
Yes. Yeah, we talked in the last episode about things, or 2 episodes ago, of the things that we are really looking forward to for spring training, and there certainly are things to look forward to. Um, but kind of let's talk about I think what the main discussion point has been since we last talked, and it's that Nick Castellanos has turned around and signed a deal with the Padres, where it seems like he's going to be playing a lot of first base over there, including their first spring training game today, where he is starting at first base. What do you think of that as a landing spot for our old friend Nicky C?
I give two shits. I mean, it's kind of funny that like what Preller said. Oh, we were trying to make a deal and it just couldn't come through. So like Dombrowski masterclass in negotiations with saying they're going to just get rid of him and then having no leverage.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty much exactly at that same point. For a league minimum salary, I think Castellanos can be tempting because he can give you maybe league average hitting from the right side. And I mean, truthfully, a lot of his negative value wasn't his defense. So, if you have athletes like Ryan Howard and Reese Hoskins playing and kind of surviving at first base, Nick Castellanos is probably going to be passable as a first baseman. Just, of course, there was no room at first base with the Phillies. So, um, you still have to go nonetheless.
Oh yeah, well yeah, people like fame like yeah, it was like oh defense he was the worst defensive player in the league, blah blah blah. How many we won 90 plus games every year we've had him. Not every year, but it's like 2 to 3. So it's just like defense is really bad, but like I've said this before, it's definitely overblown. Defensive metrics are definitely way more overblown to than the actual impact they have in game.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that's totally fair. Um, but I think it's interesting that you brought up Dombrowski because I think that you have parts of the fan base that are kind of really showing him a lot of heat right now. Not all parts of the fan base. Some people are kind of wondering when he's going to go in the Hall of Fame and how great of an executive he is, all of that kind of stuff. But I wanted to give you a chance to just expand a little bit on what you thought about Dombrowski, because that was an interesting point you brought up.
Yeah, yeah, like he famously won multiple World Series with the Marlins and the Red Sox, and he's been known for getting like these big deals across like pretty much prospects. The way he got Chris Sale for the Red Sox, uh, and he made these big trades and signing that he got the Tigers never won anything, but he traded for the Miggy and all that. Uh, but honestly, I feel like the game's kind of passed him by because it feels like the big deals aren't like the meta anymore. You gotta be smarter about it. You gotta make these uh like the ensemble cast trades are the big thing now, and we've really been bad about it. Like our fourth and fifth outfielders, like Cal Stevenson, uh, uh like uh obviously Wilson was really good for 1 year, but then disaster last year, and then yeah, so our like the little moves he's been terrible at, and for a reason, like he's been instructed to not sell the farm system, so we never got into those big trades. So it's kind of just been meh.
And it's been like so mixed when you look across, off season to off season, trade deadline to trade deadline. I feel like the results have been so mixed. You have moves that worked out, like Jose Alvarado. You had moves that didn't work out, like Michael Lorenzen and plenty others, for instance. So it makes it pretty hard, at least in my opinion, to kind of give like a grade on what I'm really thinking about his job. Um, Overall, I think the main problems that I have had with Dombrowski have been the lack of creativity. I think kind of like what you're saying, he's so used to making like these big, flashy moves, and I believe that he is capable of making those moves. Um, but he hasn't really done enough around the edges. Now, I love the way that the Phillies bullpen looks this year. I think that over the offseason, they did a great job kind of retooling this bullpen from the left-hand side or from the right-hand side. Left-hand side, I think there's still some questions. Um, but overall, I just have a hard time saying that he has really turned the Phillies into a winning organization. He has allowed John Middleton to spend more money. Middleton trusts him to spend money, and then that money has gotten the Phillies more wins. Probably not a big surprise there. But are they really more efficient? Are they really drafting better? Are they really developing players better?
Yeah, no, I mean under his tutelage, I feel like we've fixed our pitching prospect pipeline, but our hitting pipeline is still broken.
Yeah. And I think we're going to learn a lot, even about the pitching side this year, right? Because the pitching prospects have not really panned out yet. I mean, we're going to see with Andrew Painter this year. We're obviously going to see with Crawford this year, and then I think this is going to change the view that people have on Dombrowski a lot in one way or the other. But as far as like the internal prospects, the like Mick Abels, the Griff McCarries, the Michael Mercados, like these are guys that have not really worked out in the way that I think the Phillies were hoping that they would work out. And I don't know. I have more questions about even the pitching development, I think, than other people have.
Yeah, no, but and not to mention how like he apparently just ruined his relationship with Harper, if anything is to go by.
Well, a lot of people are talking about that like press conference that Harper did, and those quotes they look bad. But I think when you actually go and you listen to it, you watch it, like I didn't personally hear the malice in Harper's voice. Like I didn't come out of that being like, "Oh shit, we're in trouble." I came out of it thinking like Harper is unhappy. Maybe it's fair that he's unhappy, um, but not that it was an unsalvageable situation.
Yeah, no, but I did think it's funny how like Harper basically admitted to like that he has resting bitch face.
Yeah. Well, all the
So it's
stuff
like
that's being
people are like,
talked
so
about.
you're not happy. It's like, oh, I am. He's like he needs to smile more when he's playing, which be fair, if he is having fun, but like, yeah, as you get combination with the struggle and the looking like he's unhappy, so it wouldn't kill him to smile more.
It would not. It would not. Yeah, he pretty much said he had RBF, which I guess I'll take him at his word for that. No reason to not. But yeah, no. Interesting stuff going on. Phillies menace has retired today. Phil Cuzzy is no longer going to be being umpire this year. I feel like the old guard of umpires, the Angel Hernandez, Cowboy West, like Cuzzy, these guys are gone. It's a little sad to be honest with you.
No, it's not. I mean, like umpiring is something that needs like a yearly eye test or something because like we've all these like I mean you see that post like last week on our baseball when it was just like the difference in the accuracy of strike zones of the past years got insanely more accurate.
Yes.
Yeah, so but the other thing is a lot of those are carried by like the younger umpires coming in because they're younger, their eyes are better and all that. Uh,
Yeah.
Dude, like everyone complained, like every time he's, oh, this guy sucks. He's an old guy. Like Joe West used to be everyone used to like him. You got old and curmudgeon and everything. I mean, that's forget. I mean, I will always love Joe West for how the whole Wikipedia scandal was hilarious.
Oh my God, that was so funny. For people not familiar with that, there's some pretty good evidence that Joe West was editing his own Wikipedia page to make it more favorable on him. The other thing that I think is hilarious about Joe West is like the mask during the pandemic. This like little tiny mask was honestly hilarious. Like it made me laugh every single time he
Yeah.
umpired a game and they showed it.
Yes. If you're gonna edit your own Wikipedia page, maybe don't use a username that clearly indicates it's you.
So funny, so funny.
But yeah, no. Yeah, I'm glad because I mean, well, a lot of the times with these bad umpires, it's not that they made like other perspectives. It's how they handled people being upset with their bad calls. Like Angel Hernandez stood out because when he made bad calls, they were all-time bad calls. Like I feel like in the like it was a World Baseball Classic. I forget which one, but like the ball was clearly like 2 feet outside. He called it a strike, and I like was a famously was a it was a couple of years ago. Like he had like multiple back to back calls of return at first base when he was. It's just and like his attitude when being called like question stuff. And like Schwarber famously blew up at him, saying like you're bad on both sides. Like oh my god.
So funny, so funny.
Yeah. I mean the one thing like we did have Angel Hernandez's nephew as a pretty high pitching prospect for, but he like kept getting injured and didn't make it.
I actually don't think I ever knew that before. When was this?
Yeah, 2007 time. It was like Nick Hernandez Phillies.
Okay, I was probably too young to really know what was going on with the minor leagues then. At
Yeah,
that point then.
yeah, Nick Hernandez. He was a 6'4" lefty. Uh, 12th round '09. But yeah, and he was 21 years old in 2010. He had 64 innings. He had 59 strikeouts, but ERA of 2.39. But then he just like got hurt and didn't pitch again for 3 years and was 24 years old. And then obviously, yeah. So yeah, he was like his nephew.
Well, that's pretty interesting. Next little piece of news that I was happy about. This might be something that I care about a little more than you, but the Phillies are going back to the chain stitching in their jerseys. So chain stitching is like that kind of 3D looking stitching that they had on the logo in the front of their jerseys, and I believe that was the case through 2023. They had chain stitching of different varieties throughout time. And then 2024, when Nike took over with their own template, it went away, stayed away last year, even though the names were normal sized last year. But next year, it looks like we're going back to the way things used to be, and we're essentially, once again, going to be having a majestic flex-based template with Nike's logo just kind of applied to it, which is great. For people that collect jerseys that are in the know, there is nothing better than a flex-based jersey. And I just think that the chain stitching looks So very good.
Yeah, no, I'm happy about it. I mean, obviously, the most hilarious thing about all these teams going back to this, like, the standard of style. I feel like first we had the year of the terrible small jerseys, and then they realized, okay, maybe we should go back. It's like the whole Red Sox fiasco was like it was like overlapping on like the pinstripe, and then it's just like, oh yeah, after seeing them, they look kind of bad, so like yeah, we're fixing them, but just outright blaming. Um, Fanatic. But I mean, the curious thing is, like, it's a couple more years left of Nike's deal. Did the MLB they fix the shit, and or they go to someone else?
Good question. I feel like they might just end up using that majestic flex based template forever. But it's interesting to see what's going to happen. I feel like people are going to want them to move off of Nike, just kind of like I think NHL fans got pretty tired of Adidas as the Adidas contract kind of came to an end. But then Fanatics took over the NHL contract from Adidas, which is a reminder that it can always get worse. So if it's not Nike, I feel like we're probably going to be looking at Fanatics being like the uniform sponsor. So
I know, but it's just pretty funny how like Fanatic's answer is always we follow the spec. And it's just like you can't like take a little bit of like creativity response. It's like okay, clearly they mean this, but like this was clearly what they want.
yeah,
It just yeah, it's the always the thing is we followed with the spec, but maybe have higher quality standards that that the spec isn't good.
no, that is a great point. That is a great point. Um, Another little piece of news that a lot of people are talking about involving the Phillies broadcast. I actually have some Phillies broadcasting hot takes to share as well. But Taryn Hatcher's contract expired. She is no longer going to be the sideline reporter in 2026. Um, did you have any thoughts on this?
No, I mean I don't care. I rarely care about sideline report interviews, and so I liked her, but I'm not gonna.
She
What?
was fine. She was
Yeah,
fine.
she
I
was
thought it
good.
was I thought it was funny how like 20% of her job was to do like those food segments, but because of her being
Exactly.
vegetarian, she could never eat any of the food that was in front of her. So she always had to get like some random person in the crowd who was like very awkward on the camera
Yeah,
to eat the food for her. And I don't know, it was always a funny thing that happened like once every single home series.
yeah, exactly. But that's all I like really can think of. The first thing that popped in my head. So I'm just like, okay, I can live with. I can live without like food segments. I'm not. I don't live in Philly, so I can't go to the game and get the food. And
Yeah.
even if I was, I wouldn't. It's yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm at the point now where I hardly ever get food when I go to the stadium. I maybe do it, you know, less than 10% of the time that I go. I mean, maybe I'll get ice cream more often than that, but like a proper meal, less than 10% for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter what ballpark I'm going to. Like, I you gotta go. You just go tendies and fries. Like, come on. Like, I'm not trusting ballpark. I don't care what. Like, I've gotten like Bulls barbecue. That's really good. But it's again, but like, I'm 9 out of 10 times just going for tendies and fries.
Yeah, that's fair. I feel like I always mix it up, like depending what ballpark I'm at. Um, what's the
Okay,
best
so because
ballpark food that you've ever
I
had?
worked
Is there
at
anything that really stands out?
yeah, but I worked at like Great America in the Bay Area, the theme park, whatever, for in the food for like 2 weeks. Let me just say this: it was 2 weeks because I hated it. It was like 19. And I needed a job for the summer, and I was like, oh my god. But like, I do not trust food quality safety of any stadium. So tendies and fries, I feel is the safest thing to eat.
That is fair. Um,
Best
I've
food,
yeah, best
hmm,
food. Tell me the best food.
honestly, Philly. I don't care the Giants. I don't care. Like garlic fries are fine. There's nothing but like they're
Mariners have
really
better
greasy.
garlic fries. Mariners have elite garlic fries.
I can't. I was do not remember what I got at the Mariners game a couple years ago. I can't. I honestly cannot remember what I ate. uh, uh, yeah, but I was I was there for fantasy football draft weekend, and there was a lot of alcohol involved. I will say.
That is fair.
And then but Rockies, I think it's like the stadium is beautiful. Food, atrocious selection.
When I was in Colorado, I've been at one Rockies game at Coors Field. I was in like their version of the Hall of Fame Club because it was like less
The
than
college, a bit.
$40.
Oh yeah,
And I was like, well, what a great deal, like a great seat. And in that like club level, they had a place that had lobster rolls for sale with like some chips, and the price was like $25, which for like a lobster roll and chips feels pretty reasonable. So I had that, and it was pretty good. I also had a lobster roll at City Field, which was like $45, a complete waste of money. But I think the best food I ever had was like these like barbecue nachos in St. Louis. I think that's the best ballpark food I've ever had. That stands out to me.
yeah. Uh, I'm watching a clip. I just saw a clip of Castellanos making a diving stop at first base.
Elite?
Top comments from a Phillies fan. Famous, this dude is good at diving grabs.
You know, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Castellanos at first. Like, he might last the full season, but he also might not. Like, it's such a cheap cost at the Padres that I feel like at any moment they could just cut him if he's messing with the clubhouse or if he's not performing on the field, and it would just be no harm, no foul.
He's gonna be, like. It's not gonna surprise me if he's better. If he got chip on her, he got this made believe chip on his shoulder that he caused,
He is going to
and therefore,
terrorize the Phillies if
yeah,
he plays the Phillies.
exactly. Yeah, so like it doesn't surprise me if he somehow reverts, like does really well, but like it's just he put himself in this position to do terribly, refused to change. It was mad at him. Is mad that they released him for being terrible. Enough of
Yeah.
that.
Yep. Totally fair. I think as time is going on, the thing that's concerning me the most about this Phillies team is the starting pitching. I know that we've talked a lot about the starting pitching over this offseason, but do you think that the Phillies are going to, at some point, maybe not now, but maybe before opening day, add some depth? Because right now we're at a point where Painter and Walker are both going to be in the rotation on opening day, and I feel like those two, and Nola's a question mark, even though I think we both think he's going to rebound. This bullpen or this starting rotation could very well be a disaster. There's that major downside risk, and I would like them to get some depth just to kind of shore up that left side of the bell curve a little bit.
I know they needed to sign one more starter, and then like Verlander was available. He went back home to the Tigers. Bassett was signed. Uh, Gallon signed. I mean, they don't want Achilles when they give up the first round pick, which is fair for Gallon's like numbers trending bad 2 years in a row. Uh, it's ugh.
Would
Yeah.
you rather,
Uh,
instead of having Alec Boehm's $10 million at third base or whatever, would you rather trade Alec Boehm for like nothing, a player to be named later, whatever, just like get the $10 million off of your books, and then with that $10 million, get a starting pitcher? Like Giolito, you could get for $10 million, I'm sure.
yeah. Um, yeah, Giolito would be fine. I mean, I'm surprised we didn't re-sign Walker Buehler.
Yeah, I don't
He went
know.
to
I
the
mean, he had
Padres.
some good games, but his stuff just looked like he was
Oh, yeah, I know.
cooked.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
the
but
tough thing too is
Tony
like the
Gonsolin is also available for super cheap. I don't know what his numbers were coming back from injury.
starting pitchers. Not only the Phillies have to have an interest, but these pitchers have to have an interest in coming to Philadelphia as well. And if you're at a point like the Phillies are, where you can't necessarily guarantee that somebody is going to be starting, it probably makes your team like a little bit less attractive to these guys that are trying to hang around in the league for as long as they can. So it's a little bit of maybe the Phillies not doing enough to shore things up, but I'm willing to be patient with them at least until opening day. If the pitching depth looks the same on opening day as it does right now, I'll have a problem at that point. But some of it's also from the player side, right? Because right now the Phillies have their rotation accounted for, if you can call it that. And obviously Wheeler's on the mend, so we'll see what happens there as well. But it's a little bit on both.
Yeah.
All right. Um, any other like discussion points that you had? I think we kind of did like a big flyover of like the stuff that
I
I
mean,
had. But
it's yeah, just a quick talking point. Yeah, like the whole Tony Tony Clark, the whole shit with the union. He's now gone. Uh, just crazy. Well, like 40 out. Like this is the most pivotal time for the union right now before negotiating. And then, I mean, just listen to Trevor Plouffe talk about it. Seems like a lot of players weren't happy with Tony Clark to begin with anyway, which is why these investigations were happening. And so it's whatever. But I was listening to yes, it was also talking baseball, but Jake on it made a good point. Why are all our punishments on teams for trying to win? Like the you have the luxury tax is punishing you for spending too much money, but there's nothing that punishes you for being bad besides the draft lottery.
well, you're almost incentivized in a way to spend less money because of the way that revenue sharing works. So
I know, but yeah, yeah, but they need to have like the reverse of you get taxed X amount for having under a certain amount.
yeah, I feel like a lot of people are going to accuse us next year of being like anti-labor because I think we're both in favor of there being a cap. But a floor is just as important. Like the way that baseball is structured is just like morally bankrupt. And it allows these owners to get away with a lot, both in terms of being able to kind of maybe not have the most fair like playing field, and also in terms of being able to just suck these franchises for every cent that they can. It works both ways.
Like no, if you raise if you raise the if you make a cap 220, 220 million, that forces 17 teams to rise up to 220. That's a bit, and you have uh about 10 of them to go up 100 million. You would tell me that's a lot of money for players? 10 teams adding 100 million to the payroll isn't a lot of players.
Yeah, I mean, this labor stuff is so complex, right? Because right now the structure is so good for the top 5%, 10% of players, but for a lot of players, they're playing a league minimum for 3 years and getting paid, less than $1 million each year, and then maybe they're playing, a couple of years of arbitration, and then that's the end of their career for a lot of guys because
Yeah,
then they're
yeah. I
getting
mean,
close to 30, and yeah,
yeah. I mean, we saw in the NFL like Matt rookies used to be getting paid like top dog, like the top players ever. Like that's the reason why the Lions kind of got screwed. They had Matt Stafford, Calvin Johnson, Ndamukong Suh, but they each had to pay them market rate. There was no rookie salary system.
yeah, yeah,
And so these rookie and these, but they got screwed. And then these veterans were like, "This is bullshit. We're veterans. We're not getting paid anything. These rookies coming and doing nothing, and they're being paid top dollar." So you got the rookies coming and getting screwed, and then the veterans getting more money. But yeah, you have in the MLB like the star players making shit ton. You have the guys not making much, and like what is the minimum salary MLB?
780, I think 780K.
Yeah, why isn't it a million?
I mean, I think the way that the players are probably going to try to fix this
Yeah,
is
it's
to
seven
have
hundred eighty
fewer.
thousand.
They're gonna want fewer years of control. Like right now, if you call up a rookie, you get 6 years of team control. Maybe they're gonna want to push that down to 4 years, so players hit free agency earlier and can get paid more, and more players can get free agency. And I feel like that's probably where they're gonna want to go with this, which is fair.
Yeah, no, I that's what I've been advocating for. Is 4 years unrestricted free agency.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, yeah, I am definitely pro player side as long as the owners don't share everything with the public. They get all these freaking tech, they get all the public money, all our tax dollars, but they don't communicate with us the real what how everything works. The union gets the numbers and everything, like they get like revenue and all this, all that. but they had it from the public, and they just tell the public, "Oh, poor us, poor us."
Yeah.
Well, okay, I mean, like the freaking Dodgers getting it, like, or freaking like Harry because McCourt was in bankruptcy, so like they get this amazing deal where they don't have to pay revenue sharing,
Yeah. I would
and
say
it's
the
just
way
like
I am is like I'm pro player in so many ways, but I also want the product to be as competitive and fair as possible. And
exactly,
that means that the
exactly,
players can't win everything. Like there are ways in which the players are wrong.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
But
Like a salary cap doesn't mean a low number. Doesn't have to mean a low number.
right. Right. Yeah. You could have a cap at $150 million or whatever, right? And that's going to force a lot
I
of
mean, that's
teams to,
yeah, that would face
or
one
a
force
floor at
1,
150
2,
million
3,
dollars.
4.
Sorry.
What?
Like you could have like a
Well,
floor
for
at 150,
oh yeah,
ceiling at
yeah,
200.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you have a ceiling at 250, floor at 150, and then still that would force 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12 teams to go up, and then force 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams to come down.
Yeah.
Like that sounds like in the also okay. There's other players going to try to get the other guys, and then that would seem like it'd be more equal.
I mean, it would
Yeah, it's just
probably make the
It's just
product
ridiculous.
better.
Yeah, exactly. Like yeah, they do like the only salary cap where it's really small is the NHL.
Which the NHL is a great product. NHL is a great
It
product.
is, but I know, but like the thing they don't get like they don't get enough. They don't get the same viewership as those sports, and that's
Correct. Correct. They definitely do not.
yeah, it's 100. Yeah, it's the next season. NHL is going to rise to 104 million per team. That's so small. NFL
Yeah.
salary cap was yeah, and the NFL salary cap was 280 million. Like you're telling me if the MLB salary cap was 280, really? Like that's such a bad thing. There's only like 3 teams above that.
Yeah.
And the
No,
thing
I'm
is,
with
the
you.
cap always grows. As the product does better, the cap grows.
Yeah, unless we get some deflation, which I don't think is
Yeah, no,
happening anytime soon.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So yeah, so like a salary cap doesn't is like this book. Like so many people that don't understand, like who don't fully understand how like economics and all this work. This boogie term, like oh god, a salary cap. Oh, but it does. It sets. It allows you to have a structured set of rules that is everyone has to play by.
Yeah. Yeah. And long term, it would be better. I mean, obviously, you would have like carve outs in the short term so that
Yeah,
you don't have to have teams drop $100 million in payroll in 1 year. Like that's fine, right? But
yeah. Like if you make it like a 10-year grace period or something, like it's still
sure,
fine.
yeah, like bleed it in a little bit.
Exactly. So it's just yeah, you can have a high salary cap, but a salary cap allows you to have a floor. You can't have a floor without a sal. You can't. They have to go together. Otherwise, the floor is always minimum times roster size. And people just don't understand that there is a minimum, and the minimum is terrible, and that is the problem.
Yes, yes, yes. The minimum is you know 26 players times
Times
seven hundred
780,000.
eighty thousand. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's well, that's way too many zeros. Wait,
No, I get what you mean. I get what you mean.
yeah,
Yeah, but I don't know. This is going to be stuff for us to deal with more
yeah. It's
next year, I
20 million.
think.
Yeah, that's 20 million a year. So like, it's yeah. The minimum payroll for a team is 20 million.
It's pretty pathetic. It's terrible. Terrible. We're going to have a lot to talk about this in the next year, probably, unless some kind of miraculous agreement happens, even though it's not going to happen. Um, but do you have anything else for us today, Jeremy?
One last Castellanos dig. He played for Jim Leland, great Hall of Fame manager that never played in the majors.
Yep. Well, he doesn't respect them, even though he said, I would trust Rob Thompson with anything. And then obviously, apparently, it was a big deal all along that Rob Thompson never put on the spikes, never played professionally. I don't know. I'm just glad it's done at this point.
I
Really, if
know.
I'm being honest with you.
Yeah.
That is all for me. If anybody has any questions for future versions of the podcast, we have a podcast channel on our Discord server. Um, Click that in the show notes and ask us any questions in there. Next episode
Oh,
be up at some point.
you can even DM the mod team if you don't want to do that. DM the mod team with a podcast question.
This is true. This is very true. Next week we're gonna have a division preview podcast, so that'll be fun. And I think that with all these Braves injuries, I think that some people might have had their opinions changed about the Braves because of it. We'll have to see. But
They
we'll probably
they
talk to you
did.
then. Hopefully the Phillies continue to avoid any catastrophic hopefully the Phillies can avoid any catastrophic spring training injuries. And thank you, Jeremy, for being on. We'll talk to you all later.
Bye.